Hey guys, we are looking at an equation right now and we're being asked to graph the parabola that goes along with this equation, okay? So right now we are in what we call vertex form. If you are looking at your problem and you're like, I'm being asked to graph a parabola, but it's not in vertex form, I'll link a video for you in the corner where we talk about that, okay? But we are currently in vertex form, okay? So when we're being asked to graph these, the cool thing about these is we have what we call a parent graph, okay? If we were just being asked to graph y equals x squared, this is what my graph would look like, okay? But that's not what we're being asked to graph, right? We are being asked to graph, hold on, it's coming, there we go. We are being asked to graph this. There's a negative out here, we've got a +3 there, and a -1, okay? The cool thing is this parent graph is going to show me how to graph this since I'm in vertex form. It's going to be basically the same graph, just moved around, tweaked, if you will. Okay, so here we go. Let me get my one with the words for people who like words. Okay, so the number out in front of the parentheses. Okay, right now we have a negative there. So the negative tells me that instead of opening up like this one does, it's actually going to open down, kind of like a frowny face, okay? Because we have that negative. Now, this doesn't apply to this one because it's really just, there's an invisible one there, really. But if you have a number besides one there, it does affect the graph. If you want to see a problem where I do one like this, I will link it for you in the corner. But I do just kind of want to show you a visual really fast of what this kind of looks like, okay? That blue you see in the middle is the original parent graph I showed you earlier, okay? The green has the number 4 out front, and you see how it kind of makes it taller and skinnier, you could say, might be the words we would use. And the red one has a fraction out front, which you can see makes it kind of wider. You'll hear the word compressed a lot. So that's what a number out front, how that affects it, okay? So, hold on. Guys, I got to get better at picking up paper. Seriously, man. All right. So that's how that number affects it, okay? Or the positive or negative. So I'm just going to make a note to myself that it is going to open down because of that negative, okay? All right, next, this number here tells me how much my graph shifts either to the right or the left. Okay, so I've got a +3 there. You actually do opposite of the sign. Okay, so +3, you might think right 3, but the one inside the parentheses, you do the opposite of the sign. So I'm actually going to go left 3. Okay, and then we've got that -1 on the back, which tells me how much my graph goes either up or down. You do stick with the sign on this one, so since it's negative, we're going to go down 1. Okay? So stick with me if you're like, I don't know what this lady's talking about. Okay? Remember a parent graph. Here it is. We're taking the same guy. We're going to flip him upside down, shift to the left 3, and down 1. Okay? So my parent graph started here. But because of this, I'm going to go to the left 3 and down 1. Okay, this is my new vertex. Okay, and then I know now it's going to open down. Okay, now some teachers might be great with you just putting where the vertex is and showing that you know it opens down now. Like some teachers, that might be all they're looking for right now. But I'm going to plug in another point just to kind of give us an idea of what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to plug in, let's just go ahead and plug in -2 for x and see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to do y equals, we've got negative, and then we're plugging in -2 +3 squared -1. Also, as you do this more and more, you might even know where the point is without plugging it in, but we're going to plug it in for now, okay? So I've got y equals, we still got that negative. -2 +3 gives me 1 squared -1. Okay, this is where squareds can get kind of funny because you're like, is that negative being squared? Is it not? Okay, the squared applies to what is inside the parentheses, okay? So it's 1 squared, so that's 1, and then we still have the negative on the outside. Okay, so when I simplify that all the way down, it's actually going to end up being -1. Okay, and then we've still got -1. Okay, all right. So now when we add those together or combine them, I get -2. Okay, so when I plugged in -2 for x, I got -2 for y. Okay, so that's another point on my parabola. So I got -2, -2. So there's another point. Okay, now I could go ahead and grab or plug in -4 as well to get a point on the other side. But I know, because I've worked with parabolas before, I know that they are symmetrical, meaning if I plug in -4, I'm going to get -2. And you could always go and check that if you're not sure. Okay, but there we go. Now I've got 3 points. So my parabola, remember, it's not a straight line. We've got a curved line, is going to look a little something like that. Okay, that's not perfect, but I think you get the idea of what that parabola is going to look like. Okay, all right, hopefully this made sense. If you need some more parabola videos, I've got lots of examples. I will link a playlist for you in the corner. Thanks, bye.